My name is Clarence Bud Randall, and I went into the Army in April of 1943. Was assigned to 373rd Engineer Regiment. I went to England in the summer of '43 after basic training. Was there up until the invasion into France. And my brother was in the Navy. He was in Pearl Harbor, and he was on a Medusa, which was a repair ship, and one that was hit. And he was missing for about a week because they were just trying to get inventory where everybody was. And even though he shipped out, he was able to get off. And then they reported, first they reported him missing in action. Then about a week, 10 days later, they reported he was ashore and was fine. So that sparked my interest to get in there. And we were an engineering outfit. We were advanced sec, which means that we were an advanced section of engineers in full support of the combat infantry. And primary purpose was building, restoring the bridges that they blew as the Germans retreated, and then the mines and booby traps that we took out in the head of them. We were known as one of the best engineering outfits in the whole kingdom. England, France, Belgium, and Germany. We weren't assigned to any army particularly or division. We went where we were needed. During the war in France and that, I went and got troops when we were losing troops and to get replacements. And they had what they call a replacement depot. And I'd go in there every so often to pick up replacement troops. And then our headquarters, we, as I say, just put a bridge in for Pat in Frankfurt, Germany, for his tanks, because they had blown every bridge on their way out, and then put one up in Rebarga, which was northern. The foundations of the bridges were always left. It was just the upper structure. So we could get a bridge up across there within a week or two. When we were in Le Havre, and about after we got some of the stuff out of the way, because the whole infrastructure was destroyed, and they had the largest cannon up on the top of a mountain there. I forget what the range was for the miles. It was on hydraulic lifts. They could pull it down so nobody could see it. And we were going up toward there, and it was getting to night, and there was snow on the ground. And we each carried a blanket, a woolen blanket. And one went on the ground and one went on top. We always buddied together. And we did that. And about dawn, we hear a lot of voices. And we turn and they say, "Don't move. You're in a minefield. We'll stake you out." So they went through and staked it so we could walk out. How we missed it, I don't know. That summer on through until the invasion. And I was in the subway one time, another soldier and I, they have little compartments. There's 4 people or 5 people across from each other. And the alert sounded, so we just sat there and talked. We knew it was an air raid. And we weren't paying any attention. The next thing you know, we're thrown all over each other. A bomb had come through the roof, blew up the front of the train, and we just, fortunately nobody physically hurt, but just shook up. Well, our role was just to get in, and get on shore and be able to do something. And we could see from the destruction, everything that occurred, because we weren't there within that first group of going in there, because we needed to get all this equipment and that in there. But the beach was lined up with those that got hit, same ships as ours. And we were told, we may hit the sand dunes, there'd be deep water, so we just took everything off except our rifle and ammunition. And as we started to move with the bulldozers, the beach to clear up for oncoming, we were turning up bodies. We stayed over there for, generally, the war was over in May, and we stayed there until August as Army of Occupation. And what we were doing is having the Germans lift the mines that they planted. We went all through that, and we put some of the infrastructures back in there. And then we came home. You know, we never talked the war. The family, nobody, 40 years, until I started to put stuff together. I think it's like the children that I talk to. I ask them for questions. I had a little girl, like last year was the last I went up there, and she said to me afterwards, she says, what's the responsibility of my generation? Now, coming out of a 12-year-old, I couldn't believe that. I told her it's to keep America strong. We need the best army, the best protection for the people and the country. We can't be less, and people have to know we have it.